Hello everybody, this is a narration, the fourth time, to go with this video. This video I made is pictures. Sorry, in the old days when I had a camera. And it's just to show you that I'm not going to kill myself in my series in my little boat I just bought, Teach Yourself Sailing. I've been fishing since, well, I've been into boats since 1960. And I got into going out in the sea big time the day Ted Heaths' boat sunk, Morning Cloud. That day I ended up in a 14-foot marine beat boat. 5 mile offshore, the engine cut out, no safety equipment, nothing. In a force 9, 30-foot waves. Eventually we got the engine going and we got back in. You could say I was baptized with fire. This is me stood on the deck of my last boat. I got rid of this one about 15, 16 years ago. It was called Maverick 3. We had her down in the marina, down at Port Said here. And sorry, it wouldn't have been that long ago in actual fact. It could have been about 8 years ago. I lose track of time. Maverick 3 anyway, was a lovely boat. Had everything you could need on it. It had to have all the safety equipment. We had to have all the float suits to be able to go out of the marina, to be moored in the marina. £1,500 a year, mooring fees. But it was nice. You went down, got in your boat, started it up like you'd start a car. Radioed the lock and said, can you open the lock? We want to go in, we're going out fishing. And some days we'd be the only boat going out. I'd be going out on my own most days. I used to feel rather privileged that they'd open the lock for me. There was one of my earlier boats. This one was a Micro Plus. There's a build to kill. Me and technology and terminology, I'm terrible. That was a little boat me and Tony picked up. It's bigger than that. It didn't look very big, but in actual fact it was like 17 foot long. And we put a false bottom on it and made it so it would pop on. But that was off West Bay. There's my old camper in the background. That was, had that about many years, but I could say I've downsized now. Driving the escort van, I'm now kipping him. There's Slim. Slim was my last boat partner. There was the boat, one of my Micro Pluses. It perfectly matched the camper. We drove that camper all the way down to Spain. And that was a few years ago, and that bill was, for fuel, was £576. And that was back then. God knows what old camper would cost now. There's the ferry. That's going out of Weymouth Harbour many years ago. It was just not long after I got married for the third time. We used to go out in that little boat there, and the big ferry that used to go out used to put up a 7-8 foot swell. We used to surf off it. This day it was lovely in the harbour. We went out. When we got out there was 8-9 foot waves, and we were just surfing the waves. It was a really rough day, but my wife enjoyed it. It was one of her first trips out in actual fact. Here's my camper. As I say, it was painted to match the van. Lovely old thing. That was an old engine we bought one weekend down West Bay. Bought it for a song, bought it home, done it up, and it served us for many years. There's a clinker built boat, done in fiberglass, that one. That's a picture of my workshop in my garden. That's the view going out of the marina down at Port Said. Anyway, this video, as I said, just making it to let those of you that have seen my Teach Yourself Sailing. That's Maverick 3, going out of the lock. I just made it to show you that I have been into boats for many, many years, and I do know what I'm doing with boats. The only difference with the boat I've just bought is it got sails on it. But I fitted it with 2 brackets, so as I got 2 engines. If all else fails, I drop the sails, sling them overboard if I got to, and power up with the engine. I've still got my navigation equipment, which will go in her, so I'm not going to have a problem with navigation. And I used to get the charts for the local water. That's 2 Welsh friends, by the way, I used to take out from over Wales, Stuart and Willie. That's Captain Pete on the trip in or out of the harbour, the marina. It was great fishing down the River Severn. It could be rough. The tide there is one of the fastest, and it's one of the highest rising tides in the world. So you couldn't play about. I'll never forget the first day we went out there. We chucked the anchor down, and the anchor wouldn't hold. And we sat the whole tide drifting down past the islands, all out past Breen down, Weston. And then with the anchor down, when the tide turned, we stopped. Caught a conger because the tide had stopped. You can't fish in the River Severn while the boat's on the move. It really needs to be stopped. But then we drifted all the way back in, past the same old boys and everything. But that day with the River Severn we were baptised with fire as well. There's Stuart on the back of the boat. There was some great fishing out there in the latter days of my fishing career. And I'm hoping now with the boat I've got now to be able to go cod fishing this year down where my boat's moored now. So fingers crossed. Sorry I seem to have some of these pictures on here twice. This was one day sat in the boat, that picture there, sat in the boat looking out at the marina. This is what it was like years ago. If you could see the marina now, all built up, buildings all around it. People are paying 250 grand for little flats. That's some of the earlier ones that went up. But the place is totally surrounded by them now. I mean all the way around. You wouldn't know the place if you went down it. I never got a year ago when I went down. But in the early days when we were there, our fishing tackle shop and the marina boat spare shop was just a porter cabin. I think I got a picture of that somewhere in a minute. But I think this is my boat on the mooring. That was how we used to have to just park up. No proper car. There's the fishing tackle shop. Just boxes in the old days. It's all proper shops. Well, the marina shop in actual fact is still on, in the boatyard, there's still a box like that. There's on the deck of Maverick 3, our last boat. That was me quite a few years ago. I think I still had teeth back then. There's us with a few of the crew going out from the boat club, going out fishing. Some days you'd have all the lock would be full up. You'd have to have 2 locks going out. That's Slim, my boat partner, as I said. There he is fishing on the back. That photo, in actual fact, we got sunburnt, and that was in April. I think it was April the 14th. We actually got burnt to death that day. We had some great fishing off of there. As I say, it was one of the highest rising tides in the world, one of the strongest tides in the world. And you needed to get things right. The minute you track your anchor down, you couldn't catch anything if your boat was moving. So we used to anchor down. First thing we'd do, hit the navigator and put man overboard, and then watch it to see if we were drifting. And until we stopped drifting, we wouldn't bother to cast out. But some of the fish there was amazing. It was the best day we ever had out there. Me and Slim, we were sat up off of the tanks at Avonmouth, and in the 8-foot swelly type waves, and we caught 15 cod in a matter of 3 hours, and every one of them was over £10. That was one of the first boats I ever had on the river in Bristol. And that's the engine parts. I made the engine for Maverick 3, our last boat, out of all those parts. I done an amazing job as well. I had to flush it, clean it, rebuild it, and I made one engine out of all the parts. And she served us well at the river. There she is, sat in the lock with the water filling in. The water goes up and down. That was filling in, obviously, to hire us up. That was probably going back into the marina. That's out on the River Severn. There's the big boy. You see it floating there behind the boat. You need to use that. You'd never pull the anchor up by hand. We did actually fit a winch on the front of this boat, but we very rarely used it. It was so easy just to turn around and pull it out with the engine. Big boy with a ring in it. That's some pictures from the boat club. That was the club's night disco. Me and the wife sat there. That was back in the days when I used to smoke. There's Slim, my boat partner, and his wife. And in the foreground, that was my sister-in-law. Here we are, sat on the boat. That must have been a bad day. There's a few old pictures, a bit of a, God knows, entourage or something I put together. But anyway, this is just old video. As I say, it's just a load of pictures long before we had digital cameras. I got loads of videos that I took on videotape and put to CD. Well, I put the CD. I put it to DVD, so I can't copy it to put on YouTube. I'll have to see if I can get a program to change it from DVD to CD, so I can show you some of the brilliant fishing days we had out in the River Severn. But as I say, I'm making this video just to let those of you that are following my Teach Yourself Sailing Epic. I'm not new into boats. I do know what I'm doing. But for the sake of time, and that's a picture of the lock going out. That's a picture of the lock mechanism. And there's the view out past the pier Off that pier was the first time I ever caught cod. Some of the best cod fishing in the country is off of that pier. Some of these photos years and years ago when I first got computers, I changed them from photos with my printer. Funny enough, I still got the printer that I did it with. And I put writing on them. So the writing that's on them, sorry if the spelling's bad, it was before I got a bit better at spelling. Assuming you're zooming in and reading it, that is. Yeah, that's the view out. That's, we'd come in an hour earlier to this picture. And there's two boats coming in now. One of them's my mate Dean. He had a speedboat. He used to say that his boat went better on full power with the big engine than what it did on slow. I found out sometime later that he didn't have a navigator and he was coming in slow and going in big circles because he wasn't allowing for the tide. And of course when he put it on main power he didn't get swept. There's Popeye, that was one of the boats we had down West Bay in the latter years to play with. It was named after me just after I had my teeth took out. There's the engine in Maverick 3. Another picture of the lock. And there's the water rushing into the lock. That would be going back into the marina because we'd be coming in on low tide. Hope you enjoyed that, folks. This is the fourth narration I've done. I hope it sounds okay. There's a few pictures to make sure I end the narration before getting cut off. There's Maverick 3. Thanks for watching, everybody, and as you can see I shouldn't kill myself. I do know a little bit about boats. Once again, thanks for watching. And peace.